What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Mighty Show, a show that's going to be dedicated today with Silo in mind. We are halfway point in Silo, and things are, as the thumbnail says, heating up. It's hot. It's hot. You know who's really hot? Is this guy right here. He's just smoking hot. And I do mean this in the most flamboyant way as possible.
Oh, God. Of course we had to go there.
What is going on?
Hey, not much, man. How you doing?
Good. We're getting down to the crunch time, and I don't mean Christmas. I mean Silo.
Mm-hmm. A lot of things are starting to like boil over, and
are they ever?
It's in that pressure cooker right now, man.
Oof. Yeah, I know. Probably one of the hottest shows on TV right now, in my opinion.
Compared to what's out there at the moment, I'd say
yeah. So. And I should be actually like make it more clear, more like the streaming side of things. There's always cable TV shows that a lot of people like to watch, like Law and Order, ER, and whatever the million things that go on. But in the streaming platform world of the big, like Netflix, HBO, Prime, and Apple, I think this is one of the best shows going right now.
Yeah, I agree.
Apple TV's been killing it.
Yeah, I mean Disney's got right now, I think Skeleton Crew, but it's kind of low talk. It's a low talking point for a lot of people. I don't even think Netflix has anything going on right now. So
yeah, Netflix is. I mean, they always have things that come out because they're such a worldwide. They have Netflix from different countries has premieres every Friday, right? Mm-hmm. But in terms of a global show, I don't think Netflix has anything planned yet. That could change this next coming Friday, though.
I think Thursday is the drop for Squid Game 2.
Yeah, that's Friday. I say Friday, but yeah, you're right, Thursday.
But I don't know. I haven't really heard anybody being hyped about this show because I feel like a lot of people were season 1 was a one and done.
Oh yeah, it was because of how much money they made.
Yeah.
Right. It's always the case. It's like soon as something makes a ton of money, there's a sequel announced. But if it does okay, it's put to bed.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And it looks like the main character knows how to fight this time in this second one and use a gun now all of a sudden. Like,
oh, that sucks.
I
don't know if I'm gonna like this.
Special op training of some sort, which is kind of wild. So
I like the fact that he was overwhelmed. I like that part.
Yeah. Like he was just a regular dude that needed money.
Yeah.
And now it seems like he's going deeper into this whole organization thing and trying to be.
He's John Wick.
Yeah. It's sure. As long as they can explain something,
sure.
I'm down, like maybe because his brother was a cop or a special agent, and then they're like, oh, we'll get you. I don't know, man. It seems like it's gonna be messy.
I wonder if Mr. Beast will show up.
Probably, man.
So Mr. Beast is doing his own show right now on Prime.
I heard. Yeah, I heard. Yeah. I heard it's not getting that. Like people are watching it, but it's nothing to get excited over or like hype about.
It's nothing you couldn't watch on YouTube.
Yeah,
he's been doing this for years.
Yeah,
I know this is the biggest prize to say $5 million, but I don't know. People get burnt out with this kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, man.
Right?
It's just nonsense after nonsense, and I feel like too people know that he's buddies with Logan Paul, and they're just like, yeah, I think we're good, man. Like,
good morning to you too, Darth.
Hey, what up, Darth?
Yeah. Anyways, I didn't win the $5 million. I didn't even get a sniff of it, so what do I care? Episode 5 and 6 breakdown for Silo today. So spoiler warnings to everybody. If you have not seen the show or these two particular episodes, maybe tune in if you do want to get spoiled because it doesn't bother you, don't care. It becomes a prequel to you, or come back later and hear our thoughts on these episodes. And if it lines up with yours, if it doesn't, let us know in the comments in the section below. I'm always interested in what people's thoughts and suggestions are, or even predictions, right? For the show. There's a lot of things to predict, and it's getting juicy.
Mm-hmm. We appreciate that, Darth. You may not be watching, but we appreciate you watching us.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Maybe next time we can live stream us watching. You can watch us watching that show.
You know that meme in YouTube where the equations start coming out? That's what we need right now.
Uh,
All right, okay. Let's start with episode 5 of Silo season 2. Um,
this
we
was
start,
this was titled the Descent, right?
yes,
Uh, yes, and we get a whole blockade happening by Bernard as to what's going on.
yeah. So we continually to get right now. The show is focusing on 2 major plot lines. There's one, what's going on, the turmoil in the silo,
Mhm.
and Bernard losing his handle on taking care of everybody and having the authority sort of put everybody in place. And then
Yep.
you got the other storyline, which is Juliet and Solo, their relationship, and how she's trying to put a suit together to get back to her silo.
Before stuff gets crazy.
Yes. I also predict that she's going to end up going to the wrong silo.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. I didn't even think about that. How would you know which one is the one to go back? That's a good point.
Because she walked out. She doesn't know exactly where she went.
No. Oh my God. I didn't think about that, man. That's oh, what if
Or
she
I mean, the other thing is she could be forced to another silo because the hose might be not long enough, or
Oh
something
yeah.
gets disconnected and she's losing air, so she's got to run to the first thing possible,
Mm-hmm.
right? I hope that happens because that will be ridiculous, right?
Yeah, that would be just involving another silo, and then what's gonna happen to her silo? Just
The other thing
chaos.
was they announced last week. It was right after our show ended, so great.
Mhm.
They announced last week there's only 2 more seasons planned.
Yeah, I saw that. I did see that. I was like,
Yeah,
okay, so they are looking to wrap this up,
and I
which is nice.
appreciate that.
Yeah, that's they don't they know. I think they know that it doesn't need to be dragged on, and they shouldn't milk it for what it is. And I'm curious as to maybe there's been a weird increment in the viewership, possibly. And that's why they're like, maybe 2 more seasons and that's it.
Or maybe I look at it from a glass full type of thing. Maybe
Mhm.
the fact that they already have a game in mind, the game plan, this whole thing. They're like, hey, listen, we're gonna do this, this, and this, and this is how
Right.
we're gonna tie it up in a nice bow, put it to bed, because we don't need to drag it or make more seasons just for the sake of it, because it will water down the story, it will
Right.
reduce the popularity of the show,
Mhm.
and tarnish the author's creation,
I
right?
would hope so. Yeah.
Yeah, I think this comes down to the author's creation and literature. Like, there's a lot of companies out there, they take liberties with authors' creations and then extend or change the
Mhm.
actual narrative that the author has put together. And so sometimes that backfires. Actually, not sometimes. Most of the time it backfires because fans of the show like, no, this isn't how it was. Why is this changed? I don't like
Mhm.
this, and see you later.
Yep.
Right? So good, 4 seasons. We know when it's going to end, so they could probably work on a really good ending. It will be sad for the show to end, but hey, everything ends at some point, except for the
Exactly.
Simpsons.
Yeah.
Except for the Simpsons, that's what goes on for infinity.
Simpsons and Family Guy at this
Yeah.
point.
All right, so yeah, we have 2 storylines going on now. The issue right now with episode 5 is Bernard and Sim's relationship is falling apart.
It's changing.
Yeah, there's this distrust of each other, right? What are you doing? No, what are you doing? Kind of thing. So I think that's interesting to at the top to see that kind of falling,
Mhm.
right?
Well, it's been stemming from the fact that Bernard chose Meadows to be her shadow again, and putting Sims on the back burner, right? Sims obviously a little upset about this. His wife very upset about this. So they kind of concocted a plan to get her thrown out.
Mm-hmm.
And they wanted her impeached, and they started doing that. Uh, and it kind of went bad for Judge Meadows. Like
Yeah,
very bad
yeah.
for Judge Meadows.
Those are some
Um,
strong shrooms.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. And Bernard definitely wasn't happy about it. So things kind of just spiraled out of control, man.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
kind of took things into his own hands to get rid of the problem before and create what he thought was a solution to end his problems. But it ended up kind of not working out how he thought it would.
Um, the biggest problem right now, or the mystery that is shrouding this season so far, is Salvador. Quinn. Who this? Who this?
Yeah, clearly he's somebody important to the Silo community. Um, we know he really loves his wife, and apparently he's been writing poems, and
Mhm.
it's being there's code written in them, is what we've
Mm.
learned. Yeah,
Mhm. Yeah. And then we also have more secrecy. We also have Sims's wife, who is basically sort of working behind them or behind their backs and helping Knox and Shirley. You
yeah,
know,
that dynamic is interesting. I don't know if Sims is aware of what she's doing, or if they're working
I don't think she.
together.
I don't think he knows.
You don't
In
think
my
so?
and why I say that is because I think because Sims is a no nonsense, straightforward guy. Right? He
Right.
follows the book to the law. He's a good, straightforward person, right? And I think that's why I think he has no clue and he's going to be blindsided when he finds out, right? And
Yeah.
because I mean, and also he trusts his wife.
But there's he doesn't seem really all that surprised about what's going on though. When the stuff is going down,
Mm.
like in with the episode 5 anyway, like we
Yeah,
get
he doesn't see him to get caught off guard.
no, like we get what happens exactly. So he gets sworn in by Bernard as the new judge. That took him by surprise. Bernard being in his home was kind of weird. Um, that was because they were kind of talking about like Judge Meadows going out there, and now she's like gone because of what Bernard did, and Bernard is clearly pissed about this. So he comes up and is like, well, guess what, buddy, you're the new judge now, and I'm making
Mm.
that happen, right?
Yeah.
And that's not what Sims wanted. There's clearly
No.
power in IT, and that's the part that he wanted. He wanted that behind the scenes power,
Yeah.
not to be in front of people like the judges.
And Bernard did not want to give it to him. And
Mm-mm.
that's the part that's rifting the two of them now, right? Like, hey, you promised me that I would be head of security and
Yeah,
I would be also more entrenched in behind the scenes, and now you're taking that away from me,
yeah.
right? So,
And I'm pretty sure that frustrated the crap out of Sims because that's not what he
oh,
wanted.
absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely. And I think I also have a feeling that Sims is going to betray Bernard.
I think so, man. I think that's 100% gonna happen.
Not in a
He's gonna,
malicious way. He's just gonna let him burn on his own,
yeah. I
fall on his own sword, so to speak.
hmm
Right?
Yep,
That's what's gonna happen.
because it's happening. He can see it, and he
Yeah.
knows like he needs my help, but he's not asking for it. So why should I bother?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna volunteer because it's burned him.
You know what I think the way he'll do it is about the investigation about who killed the mayor. I think that's where you're going to see Sims like, go talk to Bernard. He was in the room before I got there.
Yeah,
Because
that'll be interesting.
the sheriff's
Since
hot on the trails right now.
true, but it is interesting though that I don't know how that would work because he was the one that put all the upper levels against like Knox, Shirley, uh, what was the old people's name, like Carla and Walker, something like that, for murdering Judge Meadows. Because when they got there, they put a knife in her. The knife wasn't there. They put a knife in her, and then they're like, "Oh yeah, we're screwed. We just got framed for this crap." And they would have to really finesse how to
Well, I mean,
pin
but
it on.
Sims could say that about Bernard because Sims, that could be the ultimate betrayal
Right,
Sims might do to Bernard. It's like, no, you did it. I didn't do it.
right.
Right?
And it seems like the judge, like, I think we've talked about this before, but the judge definitely has a lot more power with the people compared to
The
what
people are
the
more
mayor
sympathetic
has.
towards the judge.
Yes. Yeah.
We saw that
So,
with the previous judge. People were very sympathetic because when Bernard was giving that speech,
mhm.
she stepped in and sort of put her hands on him and said, like, look, I vouch for this guy. And then everyone's like, okay,
Yep.
cool.
Yep.
We will stand by this guy then. Right.
hmm
So when she died now, which was I think the biggest mistake Bernard made was killing her.
I agree.
Because that's when people started turning on him. It was the reverse effect of what he thought would happen if she died.
Yeah. I think he was expecting something a bit more. I think he was expecting that if she ended up walking out, there'd be more trouble. But I think her walking out would have been his best choice because he could have just claimed she was insane.
Yeah. She wanted this.
Yeah.
and he screwed himself over now because now she's dead inside the silo, and people are not happy. People are trying to put two things together and going, hold on a second here, and that's where they try to pin it on these mechanics,
Mhm.
and that's also backfiring because people I think are still not they don't care.
No, the lower
Yeah,
levels, like they know something is up. They don't trust the upper level people. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Those uppers against the lowers.
So in the beginning of this episode, we had them running down to the bottom. Now,
Yes,
um, there's four of them because they met up with Carla and is it Walker?
Walker.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's Walker. Yeah,
yeah,
and so what happened was, I believe Walker had a leg. No, sorry, Carly, due to Carly's leg injury. Yeah, uh,
yes.
they
Had to
didn't.
slow down.
They had to slow down, but then she's like, hey, "Listen, I'm gonna get myself arrested and get caught,
Hmm.
create a diversion. You guys keep going because I cannot make it all the way down there,
Yeah.
right?" And so they said, "Okay, fine." So that's what they did, and they also used in the previous episode that contraption to get down really fast. Remember?
Yes,
And
the
almost
cable
ripped the
thing
back off that what's the name?
of Knox. Yeah,
Knox.
yeah.
Yeah,
Because how did they get that? They got it from this guy named Calvin that Carla knew, and she's like, "Oh, we can trust him. He's like one of us. We just got to pay him off. It'll be all fine." And like, I mean, he took a lot from him and told them like, "Hey, this is how you're getting out of here." Only for them to, only for this skeevy little dude, this skeevy little
he went.
trash
He got
collector,
money from both ends.
both ends,
Yeah,
both ends, and pretty much just like fed him to the wolves. And that's how this whole like chase scene started, and how they had to like ditch the older people
yeah,
and then come back to him. Yeah, it was a crazy kind of turnaround for them.
yeah. So we had that going on. Meanwhile, if we switch gears here and go to the other silo, Juliet is dealing with Solo, and they sort of have little conflicts.
Little conflicts, and yeah, I think he thinks they're becoming better friends, but she clearly doesn't give a shit about him and just wants to get back.
Yeah, she
Because
just wants to get back, and he's like, well, can we hang out?
like, let me tell you
Let's
the
have
story.
lunch. Let's have
You
lunch.
start telling me about like circus things and crap. I'm
Yeah,
like, oh no, man.
I do want to. Hats off to Steven Zahn who plays Solo. I think he's a good actor, man.
He is a good actor. I remember when he started as just comedy, and now he's getting more into like his serious bits. But I haven't seen him in anything in a long time before this.
Yeah, for this show, I think he's doing a remarkable job. I really like his acting. He really makes me believe he's an adolescent kid stuck in
Yeah.
an adult body, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like he does a good job playing a crazy person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he is having conversation, and all she wants to do is just find
Finish
the
a helmet.
product, the stuff that she needs to finish it, which is a helmet,
Yeah.
and which we'll get to in a second here towards the end of the episode. Um, we also have our boy, not Patel, but Lucas.
Jesus. Oh my God.
Not Patel, but Lucas. Never
Yep.
heard of a Lucas
Brown guy.
woman. I have a nephew named Lucas, but but not in a TV show where they could have just called him Patel, and I'd have just been happy because everyone else is called Patel, right?
Of course.
So, anyways, Lucas is brought up from mining
Hmm.
in his 5-year stint there
Yep.
to be Bernard's IT guy.
Yeah.
Not racist at all. Indian IT
No.
guy.
No, he just did what his ancestors did before him. You know what I'm saying? Like,
In the Indian silo, he was head IT.
yeah, exactly.
That silo must really smell like curry.
Can you imagine, dude?
Woo!
Hey, where do we go? Down to the mines. We
There's a
have to
Quickie
get there.
Martin.
Shit. Quickie Mart and 7-Eleven put together.
Thank you. Come again. At the door of the silo and says that.
Damn.
But so yeah, Lucas is basically putting together the hard drive this genius Bernard decided to smash. That also tells me how stupid this Bernard guy is too.
It's very close-minded. Like, you're just gonna destroy something from the past. You're not even curious as to what's on there at all. What if there's like crazy information about surviving topside with the radiation? How, like, are you that dumb?
Well,
Like,
it goes to show you that he's hell bent on keeping a secret
yeah,
more than uncovering truths,
yeah,
because for whatever reason, like they really believe in that book and stand by it,
yeah.
right? The laws of the silo, whatever it's called, the book or something.
The
But
pact.
the pact, that's it. Thank you.
Yeah.
They really believe in that, and he's like brainwashed to believe in that.
Oh yeah.
And he'll do
Oh
everything and
yeah.
anything to make sure that he can use that to subdue,
Control.
change, manipulate anybody that tries to circumvent anything,
Yeah.
right? So I guess maybe that's why he just took the hammer to it and said,
And
"Oh,
just
oh no, this is going to go against the pack, so we got to destroy it." But
Mhm.
now, got Lucas trying to put this thing together, and it looks like a jigsaw puzzle, right? More than a hard
and
drive.
and why is he doing this? Because Judge Meadows said that there was something important on the hard drive.
Crazy,
He's an
crazy.
idiot. Doesn't listen to people
Yeah.
until it's too late. That's Mr. Bernard.
We also have Bernard reaching out to everybody and anybody, including Dr. Nichols.
Oh yeah, that's a bold ass move, by the way.
He's grasping at straws, Bernard. He is just looking for any loyalty.
Yeah. He was like congratulating him on doing a wonderful job being a doctor, and he was very sorry for the passing. He's like, "Oh, normally this would go back into recycle so people can reuse, but I saved it." Like, he was doing him a
Yeah.
favor, you know. But then Nichols' dad, what was his name? Pete, something like that. He was not having it. He was like, "Listen here, you piece of shit." Well, not
Yeah.
quite those words, but he was
He
like,
should have used those words.
absolutely. He's like, "I'm just trying to be a real doctor. You made my life into a sham by pretending to take a." This man went deep, but he's such a good actor for this too. Like, he went deep. It made me kind of like, yeah, dude, like, fuck him up. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, mess this dude up. But he
Hit him with
went
the
in.
stethoscope.
Yeah, he was like making me remove like these fake birth control things, seeing like
Yeah.
these like the happy faces.
Yeah, because the
excited.
secret gets out, this guy is going to be considered a piece of shit
Oh yeah,
by
100%.
so many couples.
100%. And he
Yeah.
was just like, their happy faces only to see them fail in vain. And he's like, the silo took my wife, it took my son. Didn't even know he had a son.
Yeah.
That was crazy information. So now I'm curious as to like, how did the silo take his son and wife? And he's like, now it took my daughter too. There's nothing more you can take from me. Like, I'm just trying to do my profession that I was shadowed to do.
Hello, Ghost.
What up, Ghost?
Yeah. So you have Bernard Sims, you have Juliet Solo, you have these couples, shall we say, that are having their riffs. You also have Sims and his wife.
Shirley and Knox.
You get Shirley Knox. You got a lot of couple interactions going on,
Mhm.
and I mean that it as a couples as an item, or as in a relationship. Oh, he's in episode 3. Oh yeah,
Nice,
season
man.
1. Yeah, it's gonna get good for you. Consider this as a prequel then, and warning as well for the
Mhm.
episode 5 breakdown here. But you also have another interesting story that is woven inside there, the secrecy of all of this. That's the good thing about this show, is there's a lot of secrets in this
Yeah.
show. And one thing I mentioned to you, remember at the beginning of season 2, was I want these secrets to flush out eventually, because I don't want to drag on forever,
No.
right?
No.
And then it gets just annoying. He's like,
Yeah.
why am I into a whole season and nothing has been given to me? Right?
Yeah, I don't like those shows that answer your question with another question. I'm just like, why did you do this
Yeah.
to me, man?
As much as I do like the turmoil and everything going on in this show, I better get some secrets dropped in. And one of the persons that they should drop in a big secret is, we mentioned Quinn, but Kennedy as well, Patrick Kennedy, who is the guy that got shot or has the injury, right?
Yes.
And so he is about to die and bleed out. And our Paul, is it Billings? Yeah, Billings. Billings finds him
Billings
down
and
below.
Hank. Yeah.
Yes, they're working together, Billings and Hank.
Yes.
And so they're trying to get him medical help. so that he can spill the beans, because he's like, hey, listen, I'll tell you everything you need to know, but you got to save my life.
Yeah.
Right. And so they're working on that. And that was episode 5 of the show. But at the end of the show, the very last scenes is when Juliet is searching and finds a helmet, because Solo mentioned that there was a helmet somebody
Ooh,
borrowed.
we actually missed a pretty big thing before that, actually.
Oh, okay.
Because as she was searching, she found pictures, and she found
Oh,
picture
yeah. Yeah. I was
of
going
a
to get it.
couple that was
Yeah.
labeled Solo and what was it? Allie or something like that, Lily, and Solo didn't look like Solo. Solo looked
I mean, I know
of Asian
get,
descent.
that's the 2 couple that died, probably.
The ones that were shown outside, I think so, man.
Yeah.
I think so. And Juliet was like, "That ain't him. That's not. He's not that dude." And she confronted him about it, and he lost his mind. He lost.
Yeah.
He's like, she was like, "This isn't you. Who is this?" Because when she brought up the girl's name, he was like, "Oh, yeah, I haven't talked to her in a long time. It was a weird breakup." I'm like, okay, you
He is
lying son
psycho
of a
killer.
bitch. Yep, yeah, yep. And then he lost his shit, and he's like, "I am Solo. I am the Shadow." I was like, he's gonna eat her. I was like, he's gonna fucking eat her, dude.
Yeah, I mean, my prediction for that is, I had a prediction before, but now that things have transpired, I think only one of them is gonna get out of that silo.
Yeah, and I still think it's gonna be obviously
Well, obviously
Juliet.
Juliet, obviously,
Yeah.
but I just think that he's gonna die, and I think one of the ways he's gonna die is he's gonna drown.
Ooh, that it's one of his big fears, and
Yeah.
it's funny because he keeps telling her, "Look, I have 10 months. They can die any day now. They don't matter. You could go back and they'd all be dead. And then you'll have to come back anyway." So he's like, "Save me first." He's a little rat. He's a
Yeah.
little rat. Yeah.
He's selfish, very
Oh,
selfish.
yeah.
And I think that's what's gonna happen, is because well, she finds the helmet, right? That was the ending of episode 5. Um, with all the turmoil that's going on in the one silo, there's also something nefarious brewing here in this silo with Juliet and Solo, and that's something to keep an eye on, because we know that Juliet will go to the next season. I mean, barring anything crazy, like they must have some big cojones to remove her out of the show.
Yeah.
Right? Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
they must have some big cojones to remove, and they better have somebody, if they are going to do that, if that is the storyline. I don't know. I haven't read the books, but if that is the case, they better have someone step up really big, because she is a huge part of this show, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And to remove her, oh man, it's like removing Optimus Prime from the Transformers, right? Like, you cannot do that; it'll fall apart, I think, right? So,
Yeah.
let's see. I mean, crazy things have happened in other shows. Like, I watched Game of Thrones, and some crazy stuff happened there, right? Where you didn't expect some main characters to just go like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so that was episode 5 with a lot of turmoil going on, a lot of backstabbing.
Where she finds the helmet and then passes out, and then we
yeah,
know
because
why
of an infection, right? So
Matt, yeah, dude, it looked gross.
yeah, it
What
looked
she had
flesh-eating disease or something. It was
Yeah.
nasty.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which surprises me, considering how smart she is. She didn't want to attend to that first.
Yeah. I don't know why. Maybe she thought it was just like a scratch and it would have been okay, but it clearly ended up being way more than that.
Well, it's because of the rusty metal too, right?
Oh yeah, right. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm surprised she didn't take care of it. But that was episode 5, where Juliet, because she's obviously frustrated, and she finds the helmet. It's a nice thing for her to find the helmet, but collapses, and then you just see Solo coming in, basically helping her, which then continues on to episode 6.
Yep.
Episode 6. I don't remember the title. Do you remember? Is it Barricades? Right?
It is Barricades. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Barricades. Yeah.
Yeah, but it doesn't start with Barricades. It starts with Juliet waking up in a bed.
Yeah,
and I would be worried too. She wakes up in a bed.
I'm surprised she had clothes on. That guy is crazy.
Yeah. And he's just standing over a stove, heating up some Stu again. He's like, "Well, you had an infection. I saved you. Here's some food." And she's like, "What the fuck is wrong with this guy? Like, why?
But
Why
I mean,
am I here?"
he's doing a good deed, but he's not going to do it for free.
Oh no, of course not.
Yeah,
Of course not. You know, there's an ulterior motive.
yeah,
Him being the only person there, and water's coming up to drown him slowly. This is why he saved her. You know, it's like,
yeah.
I saved you, you saved me. We're one big happy family. You know, just
Is that how it went? Okay.
yeah.
So yeah, he is now trying to get her on her good side to get his way for helping. He's like, "Hey, the generators are down below. I need you to go in your suit down bottom
Mhm.
and turn those generators on." But it's quite a bit down, is it not?
Yeah. Yeah. She was like, yeah, the backup generator or IT's got generators like down on 30, 230 or something like that. And just like, how the hell are you gonna get down there, man? Like, that's a lot of you need a lot of like piping of oxygen being pumped to you to do that.
Yeah.
So good luck.
Yeah. I don't know how, but he's hell bent on making sure. I don't know. What is gonna happen, but I just feel like he's gonna end up falling in the water and drowning.
Something
Like,
along those lines. Yeah. I'm right there with you. I think she's gonna get him to plunge in somehow and
or no, maybe they start fighting there, right by the edge area where the water is,
oh, and she
the
just
bridge.
pushes him in.
Or he just falls because he loses balance while they're fighting.
Mm.
Or she's just basically in a frantic way just pushes him or gets him off him and he falls down. I just feel that bridge that she made has an important to it. There's an importance to it at the end, I think.
I think now, I think what's gonna happen is she's gonna lock him in the vault. Yeah. Because she saw, right? She saw him punch in the numbers like twice, and he's like, "Oh, I've only got one more chance." She just got to enter it like 3 times and wrong, and
Could be foreshadowing, right? When he said I only have a certain amount of time.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, there's it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be very interesting in the next couple episodes because things have to shake out. I don't think he's walking out of there because he does only has one
no,
suit.
yeah,
So he has to die, I think, for the show to move on.
yeah. I have a feeling she's gonna get in that vault. She's gonna
We
somehow,
all want to see what's inside.
yeah. I think she's gonna somehow get in there by the time the season is over, because she's gonna be like, I need things, and that place has all the answers. So you need to let me in, let me do my job if you want to be. I think that's how it's gonna go somehow.
Can you imagine? She opens the vault and there's like new suits, there's food, there's all kinds of things you need to survive for like more than a year there.
Yep, internet still alive in there.
Yeah,
AOL and Netscape
maybe there's a
actually
camera that
survived.
tells you about all the silos or something
Yep,
information.
yep.
She could bring that back to the other side. So there's more than just one here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I really hope, for season 3 and 4, we explore other silos. I really would like to see that. That's
Well,
my
don't
thing.
you think it'd be pretty much the same though if they did? Like the
Mm,
mentality of the silos would kind of be the same. They know it's dangerous up there, and the judicial people got their stuff going on. Or it would just kind of be like the same sort of, maybe there's the same sort of mentality, like, hey, we want to get the fuck outside, like, let's go outside and we're gonna cause a war if you don't let us do it. And
What I
yeah,
would like to see is more of other silos going, what, you guys are not connected together with all of us?
that would be different. If the other silos were like in talks with each other, that would be different. It kind of makes me wonder why they never mentioned that there are other silos out there. Like, wouldn't you want to know about the other people living, that there is hope?
I think maybe that comes down to the leadership in the silos.
Right.
Do they want to collab? Maybe there's, like we have obviously in this real world, we have borders and boundaries from other countries,
Hmm.
and some countries don't want to deal with another country, even though they're adjacent to each other,
True.
right? So it could be something like that now, because now each silo is basically a country in
Yeah.
this world,
Yeah.
right? They
Essentially.
govern it within themselves and they have their own rules. We don't know if the rules in this silo is the same as the rules in the next silo. We have no idea, right?
Right.
But it's basically shrinking the world down into these silos,
Hmm.
right? And so maybe they were blocked off. Maybe there was some sort of damage that happened and it cut them off from the other silos,
Right.
where the other silos all network with each other to, have trades, right?
Mm.
Food, clothing, technology kind of thing.
Yeah.
And this silo has been cut off because of water being there. And we obviously know that the one that Solo is on has been destroyed, but the one that Juliet came from, where Bernard is running everything, that could have been also blocked off a long time ago by someone on purpose, which is why maybe some of the information Bernard doesn't want leaked out.
Possibly. Yeah.
Don't know. Like, those are the questions that I want answered: is why are they not connected? Would you not, when you're building this, want everything to be connected?
Mhm.
Because when you're connected to a larger population base, you have a better chance of surviving then.
Yeah.
Right. So those are the kind of things I want to see answered. But going back to episode 6 here, we have the same stories flushing out more, but the mechanical groups are getting pissed off now because there's barricades now for the first time.
Yes. And things are being halted from coming in.
Food is one of them.
The big one. Yeah.
I just think that's such a bad move by Bernard.
You're going to starve the only people that know how to run that generator.
That doesn't make any sense to me as a chip. Right?
Like, there should have been some sort of negotiation, but like, look, we'll still give you food if you do your jobs. You can totally disagree with what's going on here, but you still got to keep those generators running if you want food.
Yeah,
I doing that.
I just feel like
this is showing his capacity to actually run things. He's
to lead.
Yeah, it's showing he's not as well. He's still smart, but he's not as smart as he thinks he is, and he's not the leader he thinks he was capable of being.
I think it also comes down to ego and stubbornness.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
His ability to not to, like, I mean, if you can fight with your shadow Sims and get on his bad side, you got no chance against strangers. And so that's what it's coming down to: is his ego, his pride is stopping him, and making things worse for him. And I just thought the fact that you're cutting off food to mechanical is the dumbest decision you can make.
Yep. And the only way they get it back is if they turn over Knox and Shirley, the de facto leaders of mechanical. Yeah.
So let's talk about those two. We haven't talked about those two, but they have been on the run for quite some time.
Really close.
I saw that coming.
I didn't.
What, really?
I
saw that coming in episode 5.
Listen, well, episode 5, I was like, yeah, okay. That's
when they were sleeping in that room.
I kind of saw hints, and I was like, they're gonna make them a couple. Is this for? Because I thought she was gay. I thought she was gay.
Look, some people can bat for both teams.
Oh, don't 100%.
Right?
I
always had her pegged for batting both teams.
That's okay.
Because maybe that is why I didn't find that shocking.
Yeah,
because I always thought she was a character that bats for both teams.
Okay, fair.
So I already had that.
I thought she was just on the one side, and that was it.
So when I saw them sleeping in the room together, I'm like, okay, they're showing this because they want to develop that relationship of closeness.
Yeah.
Right. And so I wasn't expecting them to full on, start making babies, but I was like, they're just showing this to us as audiences to let everyone know that they're, because remember, they weren't always on the same page in the beginning. They were actually rivals.
They were like against each other. Hardcore. Yeah.
And I think
especially with what happened to Juliet.
Exactly.
Shirley was like, you're a piece of whatever. And he was like, I only did it for mechanical, man. Yeah.
And so their adventure here sort of brought them together because they realized that they're all both on the same side of the same objective, is to find the truth.
Yeah.
Right. And free Juliet, or Juliet's still alive, whatever chant that they use. And so when they, in this episode, started playing tonsil hockey, I'm like, yeah, this is not surprising to me. What was surprising was Billings. Billings. So going back to what we just talked about in episode 5 with Patrick Kennedy, he brought some, I guess, a doctor in training, right? What is that? They're what do they call doctors?
An intern. No.
Male practice? No.
I don't know what they call them, like medical intern.
The doctor in school or whatever, right? And so they brought him in there,
An
and he's just
attendee.
yeah, sure. Dr. Junior.
Junior doctor.
Who's the guy from Simpsons? Dr. Ed.
Oh yeah. Hi
Hi,
everybody.
everybody.
Hi, Dr. Nick. Yeah.
Dr. Nick. That's it. Dr.
But,
Nick. Well, how can I say Ed? Dr. Nick is basically there and trying to help Kennedy.
he brings out forceps and he's like, okay. He's like, and Kennedy was like, yo,
Oh, you're missing a big part here.
the drugs, man. You got to drug me up. And he was like, oh, only the real doctors have the strong stuff. I was like,
You led with that?
You said real doctors, man. Then this dude was just
I
completely
only play one on TV. Right?
he's like, I have baby aspirin. I was like, he's dead. That guy's gonna die. Just
Kennedy's just like, just kill me, whatever. Billings, take your gun out, put me to sleep.
oh shit.
And so,
Yeah.
okay, so Billings is like, hey, we do the best we can here, right? So,
Mhm.
but Billings' wife comes through.
Yeah, she's starting to play a little bit of a big part now, slowly, eh?
Yeah, and that baby's really good.
Yeah.
Baby doesn't cry ever.
No.
Billings goes to our doctor Nichols, and convinces or says, "I really need your help. My husband really needs your help."
Mhm.
And he's like, Nichols, like, I can't go down there without our
No.
authorization. And she's like, you gotta do me a solid here, Doc. You gotta
Yeah,
do me
we
a
can't.
solid.
She's like, we can't go through those proper channels.
Yeah.
we need you.
And so Nichols, I kind of like Nichols. I do. I mean, he's a guy that just has to do his job. He's honorable person.
Yeah.
He wasn't great dad to Juliet, but he did the best he could.
Yeah.
Under the circumstances, right?
Especially after losing his wife, I think he was definitely lost. You know, and that's how he kind of downward spiraled, and he kind of lost focus on Juliet a whole lot, which obviously he's now regretting for very good reason. But
Mhm.
now he's trying to he is doing. You're absolutely right. He's doing the best he can at this point. He's trying to do better.
He did, send Juliet down to is it Shirley Knox? So not Shirley. Who's the old lady? Remember he came to visit her at her place.
Her place. Are you talking about Martha? No.
Carla?
One of the no.
It wasn't Carla. It was the other one. Is it Carla? Who's the one? Who's the one that gave up herself?
Oh, Carla. It was Carla.
But it was the other girl too, right?
Martha.
There's two. There's a couple. The two of them, right? That went with Shirley and Knox.
Yeah, Carla and Martha.
The black lady and the white lady.
Yeah.
Who was the white lady? What's her name? Carla.
Martha.
Oh, Martha. Okay, yeah, Martha.
Yeah, Carla, the black lady.
Martha.
Yeah.
So Nichols went down to visit her, and I also feel that Nichols was probably like, I don't want my daughter to be involved with what I'm doing here for this silo, lying to everybody and being in this scheme.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna send her down below so that she could be away from this and never be implicit or get involved in this. And I think
you're talking about in the past. Sorry,
Yeah.
I was okay.
Yeah. Bring it back here, Sheldon. There we go.
I was a little confused.
Actually, I should have said in the past too as well. It was my fault. But yeah, so I've Nichols, for me, his story sort of flushing out as to why he did all these things, because when we watched season 1, we're like, this guy's a piece of garbage. He doesn't care about his daughter, right? And it's all that stuff. But he does care, and he wanted her to be away from him and what he's doing, because he knows what he's doing is wrong.
Yeah.
But
and
his hands are
also
tied.
Knew that. Yeah, that I also believe that he also felt like he wasn't in the best position to look after her, and she would be better off down in mechanical with Martha.
Yeah. So we have him go back and visit her for the first time in a while, and she's like, "Oh, nice to for have you come down from the upstairs here, us poor people here, kind of thing, right?" And so there's that relationship where he's like, "Okay, I'm going to do what I can to help because my daughter's out there and I want to know the truth as well."
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And so he goes and offers to help Patrick Kennedy. And the Billy's wife also is, I guess, a nurse, maybe? Right? I'm assuming.
Or something. Yeah, she's
something in the medical field.
Well, I mean, she does what do they call it? Naturopathic medicine. Like she was
Okay.
giving like herbs, like in the last episode, she was giving like herbs to people and like some beetroot stuff to cover them.
Okay.
And
Is it called
that's when she meet
homeopathic?
probably
Yeah.
yeah, something like that. Um, and like that's where she kind of met Dr. Nichols, and he praised her on doing a good job. And so yeah, she's got some medical practice, because even I know in real life, like for people to become like homeopathic doctors, they still need to go through proper medical training first. They need to go to school for that, and then they can branch off into those naturopathic stuff. So that probably plays a part to it.
So Dr. Nichols comes down and kicks out our what's the Simpsons doctor's name again?
Dr. Nick.
Dr. Nick gets booted.
Yes.
And this is he's the equivalent of the Black Doctor, right?
Yeah.
Simpsons. What's the Black Doctor's name? I always forget Simpsons characters.
Dr. Hibbert.
Hibbert.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dr. Hibbert comes in. It's like, get out of here, right?
Yeah.
And basically takes, I think it's a bullet in his shoulder. Right?
That's what they pulled out. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. They had better drugs, so he was like, I can take this out of you now. Yeah.
But Patrick Kennedy is playing a little coy.
He's a little dickweed for sure.
Right?
Like, yeah.
That's a good word to put it. I wasn't thinking that, but that's a good word to put it. Dickweed is right.
Yeah, man. I'm like, okay, you asked for this and you said you'd tell them. Now you've been a little shitty person by not like holding your end of the bargain up, you know?
And then you hear Billings getting a little annoyed.
Yeah, I liked it. I was like, all right, my man, the beast is coming out slowly, you know. I was like, it's about time, bro. Like,
there was a little bit of Samuel L. Jackson in that voice, right?
Mm-hmm.
What do you say, mother?
Shaft.
So yeah, Billings is getting a little annoyed. Like, hey, I just saved your life, buddy. Right? You had a deal with me. Don't try to change the deal or don't go back on it, because you see this revolver attached to the side here. Yeah. You're getting fired. Hurry.
Well, I thought he was going to be a little bit more sadistic, especially when he brought the chair and slammed it and he sat back in it. I thought he was going to like take his hand and like press the wound, you know, just be no, but he went a different route. This man was like, I'm not going to cause you physical pain. I'm going to cause you some emotional turmoil right now. He's like, you see this radio? I just got to make one call to Mayor Bernard and you're screwed, buddy.
Yeah.
Patrick flipped a switch.
There's like a light bulb that went back on.
All right, never mind. I got you. This is what you got to know, okay? You add the cheese, you add the bread, you add the mayo, and that's where you go. Like,
don't forget the tomato, the lettuce,
and the bacon.
Yeah, bacon. There you go. Crispy.
Yeah.
So we have that, and then we like going back to what we were saying about Knox and Shirley with their relationship. They're hiding out. They're just basically on the run. Billings sees them.
Yeah, so this is after they did their whole little plan too, though, right? So we'll go back a little bit more. The lower levels are wanting to turn Knox and Shirley in. They want they're like, hey, the food is at stake. We have kids, blah blah blah. And this is after finding out like they find that their food supply, they're coated with rat poison.
Yes, it's blue.
Yes. I was like, can't they just wash it off? Can't they just like stick in some water?
No.
Like once it's absorbed in, it's absorbed in.
It's you don't want to do that. Trust me. Poison's poison, man. Why would you take the risk? Right?
Fair enough.
You just need a tiny bit to just put an end to you, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
And so they were in this crowd. They're talking to them. They're trying to plead with them, like, hey, like this is not the way to go. We can do better. And then Martha walks up and she's giving the whole crowd their 2 cents. They're like, do you think they actually give a shit about us? They're holding us hostage. You guys are freaking stupid for believing them. Just because we give them doesn't mean it's going to get any better. We're already in the shits. I was like, good for you, old lady.
Yeah,
you tell them what's up, you know?
Yeah, I liked it too.
Out of nowhere, like she got them all on point, and then out of nowhere, these food carts come in. Teddy, the kid that got like kidnapped and beat up for tagging the wall or whatever, he comes in with a cartload of food and people behind him, and they find out that they have allies at level 120. And we learn at level 120, that's where the farms are. that's where things grow. So
It was
kind
a
of a
120 or 122, the farm.
122. You're right.
But
122
they had somebody above in that level. So now they
to
can go
help them out.
down 2 levels and get our food, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and that's where Bernard was setting up barricades was before that, so Mechanical couldn't get up. He's like, because his initial plan was let's starve them the hell out of there. They're gonna have to demand learn to respect our authority if we starve them. Shirley and Knox came up with a completely different plan, right? Like they had a big old plan. Knox was gonna do a frontal assault. Shirley and Teddy were digging some stuff underneath to like do a back assault kind of thing, and it went off without a hitch. They got it. They pulled those barriers down. They ripped the barricades down. That now there is something more to add to this. There was a spy within Mechanical.
Mm.
There is a spy within
Did they
Mechanical.
flush it out? I can't remember.
I don't think they figured it out. I don't think they figured it out.
Who do you think it is? Is it some random?
I feel like it's got to be because everybody that they've kind of shown. I think it's no. I think it's Teddy because he got taken. He got taken. Remember this. He got taken for a little bit. It was maybe a couple days, and a lot can happen in a few days, and then he got released back. I think it kind of makes sense that maybe Teddy is a betrayal. Like he's still doing through the motions. He was the first one to cut up, like when they had the cement chainsaw, he was the first one up there. He brought out the food.
Let me throw a wrench in the tire here. What if it's Knox?
Oh, that'd be bad. Oh, that'd be ultimate betrayal.
Because they're showing us affection. They're showing him turning the page.
Mm-hmm.
It'd all just be a setup.
It is interesting that he turned really fast because he threw Juliet under the bus.
So now you're looking at it.
That is interesting.
The wheels are turning. The wheels are turning.
Because he threw Juliet under the bus only to be like, oh no, I'm back in. I'm with you guys. Oh, this is what the Mechanical people meant. Like, all too convenient, really fast, man. Now that you say that, yeah. Very good point. Very good
If
point.
that happens, I want you to come back here and say you are the man.
Absolutely, absolutely, my man. Absolutely.
Because that will be absolutely a page turner. You're just like, holy crap.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
Yeah.
Because whoever is leaking out this information must really know the plans.
Mm-hmm.
And a random in the Mechanical might not know all the details and the intricacies of what they're going to do. So I'm trying to look in within that smaller circle of who can really just spill the beans out.
Yeah. Yeah. Between Shirley, Knox, Teddy,
Carla. Was it Carla?
No, Carla was the one that got imprisoned. It's Martha.
Oh,
Martha.
Could it be her because she's in prison?
She is a supplier. I don't know if
But
she's.
she wouldn't know she wouldn't know the plans that are happening.
No, not that far.
Yeah, I don't think you have to scratch her off.
Yeah, I definitely don't think it's Martha. Martha is like, nah. She hates Upper. She hates what they did to Juliet. She hates that they split her and Carla up because they were together as a couple. So, it's between the three. It's between Shirley, Knox, and Teddy. I think, man. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I have to. Shirley is something that I don't know. Like, I mean, she does sound like.
I don't think it's Shirley. I don't think
so?
it's Shirley. No, she hates judicial. She loved Juliet. I don't think she's gonna let that fire go. It's Knox or Teddy. Then it gotta be, man.
I gotta go with. I would say 70% Knox, and I'm gonna go 30% Shirley. I'm gonna go 0% Martha.
Yeah.
That's where my numbers are at right now.
See, I'm thinking like 60% Teddy, 40 for Knox.
So you're high on Teddy. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's I mean, that's not a bad guess at all.
No, because he just kind of came back out of nowhere and then just started doing things, and it was like, oh, what's going on? Like it was those kind of things, like, what are we gonna do? Blah blah. I was like, You might be the snitch. You're the mole.
Yeah. If that happens, I'll let you know. You demand. So
I'll put a mole on my face when that happens.
um we also have Lucas deciphering some stuff
Even more so. Yep.
to Bernard. I didn't understand some of this.
Yeah, I maybe it was a bit too technical. I don't know, but it was
They name dropped. They name dropped.
they name dropped like that, and the only thing I understood was we're coding more. We made a new branch of code, and they brought up some Caesar switcheroony Abu Dhabi kind of thing. Yeah, a lot of tech jargon that I just didn't understand, man. But it seemed like he was making progress with it, about something about shifting letters over to the side to make sense of things. And there was like a misspelled word of silo. It was silo with two L's. And then a name came up. It was Anna or something
See,
like
I'm
that.
glad you
Right?
remember that because I don't remember. So
Yeah.
Anna,
And
yeah.
apparently that was significant to Bernard. Apparently that's the name of what was the guy's name?
Salvatore
Salvatore, thank you.
Quinn.
Apparently that was the name of his daughter. And Bernard was like, you can only understand this if I show you. And then he got quiet, got up, and Lucas was like, show me what? And he was like, the source. And I was like, okay, what the hell is the source?
I better see that source before the season ends. I'd be pissed.
Right. And then what did he do right after that? He brought out the pack,
sworn him in.
Sworn him in. He's like, you are my shadow now. I was like,
oh, Sim's not gonna be happy about that.
No.
And Sims already hates his guts.
But it IT
Lucas's
shadow.
guts.
Yeah, it was IT shadow. Yeah. Not Mayor Shadow. Still a big thing though, because IT clearly holds a lot of power from what we've been hearing right now.
Yeah,
they have their own generator and everything. So
yeah,
I thought that was wild. I did not see that coming. I thought he was just going to use him and toss him aside, but now he's seen that he's super valuable.
Lucas Patel was in the depths of hell.
Yes,
just a few days ago, only to be now become one of the most important characters in the silo.
That man is making the American dream happen, and he doesn't even realize it.
Yeah. Jindabad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which means, what is it? Be victorious.
Yeah.
But so, yeah, it's interesting that Bernard quickly gets him sworn in.
Yeah.
Gets him part of the team. So Bernard is looking for people to trust. So Lucas has gained his trust.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Providing him valuable intel. Oh, of course.
Yeah, he's like,
you get man, hot shower, food, a place to sleep. You'll do anything for anybody.
Absolutely.
Right?
Get on your knees, dude. Like,
I mean, how much is a hot shower worth to you, right? So
yeah.
Cooked meals, so you never know. But
sorry, before I completely went off, you said Billings found Shirley and Knox as they were hardcore making out. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe it's the alcohol.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll blame it on the alcohol for sure.
Anyways, while they were playing tonsil hockey, Billings came and broke up the tonsil hockey game. Billings basically said, I know you guys are on the run. I know all about this. I'm the sheriff, blah, blah, blah. And then Knox like, well, you gonna call us in?
And he kind of did.
It was crazy. He's just like, I was like, whoa, Billings, you're switching on us again now? Like, I liked you for a minute, Billings. What are you doing, Billings? What's going on here?
Hello, Bernard. I have found the fugitives. I was like,
what are they, cheap Wiggum? All right, boys.
And it was just like, okay, good. Like, tell me where it's at. And he's like, no. That I was like, whoa. What do you mean you're not telling them where he's at? He's like, I'm not telling them because they're under investigation and we need to conclude our investigation before we go any further with this. And I was like, okay, this is interesting. Where are we going? And then like Knox and Shirley, they thank him. He's like, I'm not on your side. I'm not on the mayor's side, the judicial. He's like, I'm on the side of the law.
He sounded like Judge Dredd for a second. I am the law.
Yeah. I was like, all right, my man, Sheriff Billings coming out. He just made his own side. That's what happened. Yeah. He's like, I'm on the side of the law. If people don't follow it, this is what's gonna happen. I was like,
my man.
Some civility is happening with this dude. Yeah.
Can he catapult to Bernard's position?
I think so. I think he can easily take it
Especially if
over.
Bernard's demise is coming, which it looks like it is.
Right? Because with him not being on anyone's side in particular, him being in the middle, following the law, whether you're judicial or you're down with mechanical, the law is the law no matter what. He's going to uphold that. And I think that's going to go a long way with the people. And it's going to show that he's actually a fair dude. He doesn't care whether you're in power or you're not in power. He's going to do what's right in accordance with the people. Yeah. And I think that's going to go a long way with the rest of the silo.
Yeah, very interesting what's going to happen there. So we go back to Juliet's side of the story here now.
Mhm.
We have Solo really trying to get her to go and do the generator stuff. She has her stuff put together. She's got the helmet now. I think the next episode we could have a big problem here with the two of them.
Oh yeah.
I think that's how fast it's going to escalate.
Oh yeah. It's
Right?
gonna end up bad for him, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We know that she's not going to step foot to the very last episode. We know that.
No.
They're going to save that for the very last episode.
Yeah.
Right? But it's how she's going to be able to do that is with his cooperation or without, because she does need him to pump air, does she not?
She does. Yep. There's no other way for her to make well, not that we've seen yet, but there hasn't been a mechanical way, like a self-powered way to give her oxygen. She needs him to do it.
So maybe she does go turn the generators on, makes him happy.
I mean, if he's got to pump the air, that's what he's going to have to do.
And the other thing is, like, let's say she does turn the generator on. Why does she need to leave then?
Because she needs to save her people.
She could bring them over there, right? Start another
She
silo?
could. Yep. Absolutely.
If Solo wants it.
I don't think he'll have a choice.
See, it's such a dynamic situation going on there. People are obviously they're trying to focus more on the things that are happening within the Bernard storyline.
Mhm.
But I think this is such an intriguing storyline in terms of like what is the outcome at the end of the season here?
Yeah.
Like what is Solo's, is he just going to be back to being alone? Are we going to see what's behind that vault, because it's so interesting and they're keeping it very hush hush? Is Juliet going to be able to get out of there and go to her silo or maybe another silo? Like the ending is going to be very intriguing in this storyline of what is going to happen.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, it's also, going to come to maybe a crossroads where Bernard is maybe saying, hey, you know what? It's just all falling apart. I'm just going to go for a walk and kill myself.
Mm-hmm.
And then she just shows up. And she's like, oh, no, you're not. Get back your ass in there.
Yep.
So,
absolutely.
How many episodes are left? Sorry.
So it's
10. 10. Is it 10 episodes?
10 episodes, yeah. So 4 more.
4 to go. So there's a lot that can happen here.
A lot. Absolutely.
Unlike Disney Plus, these guys actually have almost like an hour of actual showtime. Although episode 6 felt very short.
It did feel short. Like I think it felt like it was a lot more fast paced compared to the previous episodes. Like
I saw the credits. I'm like, whoa, we ended that fast?
Yeah, because by the time it ended, I was like, I don't think I retained anything. I was like, what the hell just happened? I gotta go back and rewatch this.
Yeah, no, I had to go make some notes again and stuff. I was like, yeah, this went pretty fast. I was not expecting the credits to roll that fast.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if this was one of the shorter episodes.
Another big thing with Billings.
Yes. So are they poisoning people in the silo?
Or is it just anxiety, dude?
I'm going to go with poisoning.
Okay. I'm going to go with like the anxiety. Because now that he's got to focus, this dude is locked in now.
Well, I was going to get into that. I was just going to say to you, like, maybe it's what they're talking about where they forget things, the fog.
Oh, you talking about that so-called drug that they got?
Yeah. The fogginess. And maybe that's what led to him having the tremors and him forgetting things. Could these people have been aware of a lot of things and that these drugs have kind of wiped out a lot of their memory or fogged up and stored a lot of their memory?
Right. Well, we still even don't even know if it's true though, because Patrick Kennedy was promised this drug and he never got it.
So Patrick Kennedy's going to come out and really spill the beans here.
Which he did to Billings.
Yeah.
He did all that. Yeah.
I think the next episode, we're going to see Billings talk to Knox and Shirley about this.
Oh, yeah. I think so.
Or the reason why we heard Billings say, I'm with the law is because he knows what to do now to get the message across to everybody, to educate everybody.
I think so, man.
Yeah. And I really want this investigation to turn on Bernard, and Sims just like, I had nothing to do with it. I was just following him.
Yep.
And then the Sims gets turned in, and Bernard goes to Sims. Listen, my brother. Common. Listen, my brother. We got to work together here. All right. I got you, homie. That's, did a little fist bump, right? So,
do you think when this does go down, because I have a feeling that's how it's going to.
It has to go down for me to give the show a good mark at the end of the year.
Yeah. If he's going to end up putting either Billings in charge of mayor to be put into mayor, or if he's going to put his wife to become the mayor, because he can't become the mayor himself now.
He's a sheriff.
He's judge.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
And I have a weird feeling like you're only a judge until you die.
Unless they step up Nichols. We need a good Samaritan. We need someone that people can trust.
Very true. Yeah.
And he's right there as a doctor.
And he's been making his rounds with the people.
But what's to say Billings can't be elevated either, right? He's a sheriff. Right?
True.
He passes on the badge to his partner.
But he's also the first sheriff to actually follow the law. Like, he's not picking sides. Not like,
which makes him even more attractive to be a mayor then.
Because you had the first sheriff in season 1. I can't remember his name now. He was on
Juliet's
the side of
Juliet's boss.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Because he was on the side of judicial, always taking their side, blah, 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 follow this, follow that. And Juliet was, nope, I'm on mechanical side. I'm with the people, blah, blah, blah. And now you got this guy who is like, nah, I don't care if you're judicial. I don't care if you're goddamn
It doesn't
mechanical.
matter.
It doesn't matter who you are.
So it's going to be very interesting. So episode 7, which comes out next week during Christmas week. So that's going to be crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was a breakdown of this episode 5 and 6. A lot of things to sink your teeth into. If we've lost you somewhere, we apologize. Don't worry, you're not alone. When we watch this show, we have to watch it a couple of times to really understand what's going on. And even then, we've probably missed a couple of things here and there. But there's so much going on in the show within the 2 major storylines, which tells you the intelligence of writing in this show. Right? It's not a very simplified show. There's a lot of complexities, character developments, which makes this show so good. If you can get behind it and understand and follow along, this is a show that you had to sit down and watch, not something playing in the background while you're putting together.
No, you actually have to pay attention to the details that happen, man. Yeah,
details and relationships.
Yes,
and name drops. Right, those matter, and sometimes you might have to watch it again to really flush out some of the Easter eggs they dropped there. But this show, it's got 4 episodes to go. It needs to really start answering these questions and flushing out some of the things that we're waiting on pins and needles for. If it doesn't do that by the end of this season, I will be not upset, but I would be sort of disappointed that I spent 10 episodes not getting anywhere. Right? So that's my thing. It has to pay off. Like last season, we got the big, huge cliffhanger answered that there's more than just one silo out there,
and that the outside actually is a goddamn catastrophe.
Yeah, that was huge because we got the answer we were so starved for in season 1. So season 2, I want to know what Patrick Kennedy is going to spill, and it better be irrelevant. It better not be like, hey, we got a new cafeteria somewhere hidden, right? Or fresh water supply down in the depths. I don't care about all that. I want to know why we're not connected to other silos. I want to know what they're so worried about not mentioning to other people about the silo. Why don't you want to give hope to everybody in the silo? There's a possibility, right? Like, what is going on? Why is IT so secret? Why is there cameras everywhere, right? So I want to know. And then why is Solo hiding a vault full of dead bodies? No, I'm just kidding. We don't know, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I want to know these questions. These are important. So. And what is Lucas Patel gonna tell us from the hard drives?
That's the big question. Yeah.
Yeah.
We need to know, man.
These are 3 different types of answers I need for this show to say, okay, I'm ready for season 3. Bring it on. Let's go.
Yeah.
Right.
And I need to know this whole story behind like Salvatore Quinn is
Yes.
yes. And
Patrick Kennedy better tell me who Salvatore. It's not Salvatore. Salvador. Sorry, Salvador. We're not in the Penguin show. Um, Salvador Quinn better be flushed out real good. I want to know. Give me a flashback. I love to see a flashback. Right.
I mean, we got one in the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
Yep.
Love to see a flashback. We are going to flash forward to 2025. This is the last show from the A&R Universe team, the Mighty Show. We're going to come back and we're going to talk about episode 7. We're going to talk about episode 8. That's when we'll be back, folks. We'll be back in time to do episode 7 and 8 back to back. And by then, we might get some really juicy answers and something's going, brewing.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And then it's down to the home stretch of episode 9 and 10 towards the middle of January. So it's going to be very interesting, and I'm glad it's still going to be playing throughout the holidays, so I get to watch something new, right? In between all my Home Alone movies that I'll be watching, right? So I am visiting Kevin McAllister's house.
Nice.
In a couple of days. I am going to yell out, Kevin, and see if he answers or not, and says, "Get out of here, you filthy animal."
Some random dude like, why do you guys do this to me all the time?
Oh, geez, hey, buddy, you think you're the only one that says this?
He's gonna come and like, get off my damn property. Calling the cops.
Chicago accent. Get out of here, buddy. So I'll be doing that. I'll send pictures. Put it on our social media handle at A&R Universe. Go there, check it out. Hang out with us over there. Subscribe to our YouTube channel here too. If you're new,
do that too.
Hit a like button. We are doing a lot of work here, and we would love it if you hit the like button so you can let other people know about the things that we do here. We appreciate that. I've said that in the last episode of A&R Geekly, and I said in Popcorn Chicken, and I'll say it here. Happy holidays to everybody out there. Stay safe, have fun, enjoy, and we'll see you guys in the new year. Take care, guys. Sheldon, say bye to